I'm sitting here with Thomas, private investigator of RS Forensic Investigations. We're talking financial crime schemes, specifically Ponzi and pyramid schemes. There's been an increase with these crimes, Chad, and the question is, how bad is it?
It's a massive, Isak. I don't actually know how big it is, and I don't think anybody in South Africa realizes how big it is. It exploded especially during COVID. People had time on their hands, they were looking for alternative revenue streams, and the scammers were willing and waiting for them, and they came to them with different scams in droves.
Will you explain to viewers the difference between a Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme?
So a Ponzi scheme doesn't have any product. It claims to have product, but it doesn't. So it's a very well sold scheme. You get told that money is going to be invested into a certain product, you're going to get an excellent return, but in actual fact the return that you're getting, if you get a return at all, is from money that's brought in from other people that are introduced to the scheme. So fraudsters refer to a whale. A whale is somebody who has a lot of money or has contacts with a lot of money. So normally what they'll do is right in the beginning of the scheme, they'll grab a few whales and they'll pay those whales a bit of interest so that those whales either invest more money or bring more people to the scheme. The scheme explodes when there's no more people investing in it. A pyramid scheme, on the other hand, is similar to multi-level marketing. There normally is a product, but what it means is, depending on where you sit in that pyramid, you could be paying a lot of money and getting only a little bit back, but you can make drawdowns the more people you introduce. That also often lands up failing simply because there's no more people to bring in to be able to buy product, and people start buying product amongst their own circle of friends, and that product just circulates and circulates, and the money runs out.
What are some of the most well-known cases of con schemes in South Africa at the moment?
Right now, the biggest cryptocurrency trading on the forex platform. So a lot of people have heard how successful Bitcoin is, and it is successful. At time of us meeting today, Bitcoin is sitting at 60,000 US dollars. I remember when it was sitting at 10,000 US dollars. People remember when it was sitting at a couple of hundred US dollars. It's now sitting at 60,000 US dollars. And people who got in at the beginning have made a substantial amount of money, or are worth a substantial amount of money. But one must remember, only a limited amount of Bitcoin was issued. So people want to jump on the bandwagon now. They've heard how successful cryptocurrency's been. So they look for somebody to train them. And therein lies the scheme. The person that's going to train you actually wants your money to trade on your behalf. So they make it very complicated. They explain to you how complex it is and how you have to be up all hours of the day and literally be online 24/7 to be able to play the market. So eventually what you say to is, why don't you just trade on my behalf? And you give them your money, and they don't trade on your behalf. And therein lies a massive problem. We've seen it with BTC Global. We've seen it with Mirror Trading International. We've seen it with Presidium. We've seen it with Imaginer. We've seen it with JP Markets. We've seen it with JVN. These are companies in South Africa that were purportedly trading the forex market on behalf of their clients. And the total value taken from South Africans up until now is in excess of 10 billion rand. Just Mirror Trading International is accused of taking 9 billion rand from South Africans and foreign investors.
What is it that makes Bitcoin such a susceptible area for these sort of crimes? Is it only Bitcoin that is criminal, or is it the enterprise around it?
Bitcoin's not criminal. Bitcoin is regulated in some countries, unregulated in others. It got a very bad reputation in the beginning because it was used as a cryptocurrency on the dark web. So if you wanted to buy illicit goods or order illicit services, you could pay via Bitcoin. But Bitcoin itself is legitimate, and it's legitimized itself over the years, and various countries are regulating the trade in Bitcoin, be it on the forex market or other platforms. People use Bitcoin to further their crimes. To give you an example, during the whole COVID crisis, everybody needed PPE. So people used the sale of non-existent masks as a way to make money, to defraud people. They sold them parcels of masks, sanitizers that didn't exist. So what's happening with the Bitcoin is people are selling people a trade in Bitcoin, but they're not actually trading in Bitcoin on behalf of those people. They're taking that money and they're using it for alternative purposes. Normally they're using it to fund a very lavish lifestyle.
So why is it so difficult to combat this type of crime?
We live in a digital age. We live in an age where everything is online 24/7. It's a global village. It's so hard to monitor. In South Africa, I estimate right now that there's over 20,000 different crypto schemes operating. They're operating where it's small time WhatsApp deals, social media deals, where they say, come invest 300 Rand with me and tomorrow I'll give you back 900 Rand, all the way up to where people are investing 50, 60, 70 million Rand of the sale of their companies and their life savings into more advanced crypto scams. It is unbelievable how prolific it is at the moment.
If we go to the victims of these crimes, we know that there are a lot of people that lose money, but there's a specific new phenomenon that is busy rising above the surface. And that are people that actually know they are going into this sort of criminal enterprise.
Isak, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you now. Myself and my colleagues in the investigation industry have identified what we now are going to call serial Ponzi investors. In other words, there are people out there that have been taken previously, not once, not twice, but on multiple occasions in Ponzi's. And we've identified the psychology behind it. These are not stupid people. They've got money that they want to invest. They want a quick return. They're actually gamblers. If you look at BTC Global, some of the very same investors from BTC Global invested in MTI, which is Mirror Trading International. They knew that BTC Global ended up being a massive fraud. So why did they investigate in Mirror Trading International? Because a lot of them identified that this could very well be a Ponzi scheme, and they were gambling. They thought, if I invest my money and I can get it out quick enough before it crashes, then I can make a nice return. And we've seen certain people that have invested not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but up to 5, 6 different times in different schemes. And in some cases they made a bit of interest in the beginning, but in most cases they lost their capital and they lost whatever they thought was coming. And this is the strange psychology of it. There's actually people taking a gamble on what they've identified themselves as being a Ponzi scheme. If one looks at the amount of investigations that take place in South Africa, the amount of high-profile cases that have been exposed in the media, be it in print, on radio, in television, it means that people know these schemes are taking place. People also know that if you're investing money, it should be regulated. They know that we have the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, the FSCA, which replaced the old Financial Services Board, and that anybody offering financial advice in terms of phase should be registered. They should have an FSP. So one has to start asking the question, why are there so many victims? There are some genuine victims, make no mistake. There are people that are genuinely taken in, and it's normally by introduction through family and friends. So it's an affinity scam. It's because they're introduced by family and friends, they feel more comfortable. But there's also a group of investors that are definitely knowledgeable that this could in fact be a fraud and are taking a gamble that they'll get paid out before the fraud is exposed. And what we saw specifically with Mirror Trading International is that there were a lot of people that created a downline of supposed investors so that they could get paid more commission and more referral commission. And that shows me that they knew themselves that there was something very wrong with Mirror Trading International.
Powergate Training is jou een-stop opleidingsverskaffer in die mynbousektor. Ons is by Merceta en die Mynbou Kwalifikasie Owerheid geakkrediteer en spesialiseer in mynbou, konstruksie en die kraan- en huisbedryf. Ons streef daarna om 'n bekwame werksmag op te lei in 1-tot-1 of groepsessies, alles onder een dak. Powergate Training, dis jou poort na die toekoms.